This is me, Miis.
Another E3 event in the books this year, folks. Well, the game developers have another 2 days to show off their goods to those in attendance, but all the big company news has already been revealed to us, the gaming public. Day Zero came and went, which I like to refer to as everyone but Nintendo reveals their shit in a press conference day. I don't really have a whole lot to say on it, like at all, as they always are. Ubisoft continues to prove their worth as a solid developer and publisher, and Sony had an underwhelming press conference, especially when you compare it to the one they had last year. There's practically a bunch of announcements of popular PS3 games that will be ported to the PS4, like GTA 5, The Last of Us, and a new game thrown in the way every once in a while. The only one that did excite me that they showed off was LittleBuigPlanet 3, which is going to let you play as more than just the Sackboy form of avatars, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a first in the series, and since these other avatars have cool and unique traits of their own, it makes this edition of LBP as cooperative as it's ever been. Other big name games that were announced for PlayStation 4 were Bloodborne, The Order 1886, No Man's Sky, and to top up the presentation, a teaser trailer for Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. So it wasn't the could have had even less to show, and compared to its competition during the day, it still ranks above the rest of them in terms of press conferences. Keep in mind that I still found the overall excitement down as a whole, and still feel their conference from last year made the far bigger impact, and I think I can even say that confidently in terms of Nintendo as well this year, and even E3 as a whole. But you never know with each year, and Square Enix's refusal to show any developments regarding their two most anticipated obviously got me sour before E3 even ever began, knowing that team was going to show off as little as possible, and not even the games that most fans requested to see. So, came today, Nintendo's big E3 day. As it is, every year, they get the first official day of the expo to do their thing and make their announcements in terms of their games as only they can. And they kick off their digital event with a bang. Boy, did they ever. So, what did they do? Well, I'll tell you. They make the first big announcement in regards to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS with the announcement that Miis will in fact be playable characters on the roster. I was at first with a reaction that was like, they're really going with Miis after we already had characters like Villager and Weefers already. Then after what Sakurai got to explain to them, the prospect of Miis in Smash greatly excited me after this. He revealed that you can select any Mii that you have saved on your console, integrate them into the game like it usually allows you to do with any other Mii game, but you get to select how your Mii can play out. As in, you will be able to select between 3 distinct fighting styles. You can make your Mii a brawler, which is like Mario or Little Mac, a ground fighter with effective strikes, a sword fighter like Link in the Fire Emblem cast who use swift combos and various chain attacks, or a gunner, whom like Mega Man and Samus can use various projectiles and an arm cannon in the midst of combat. As skeptical as I was of using Miis in Smash Bros., of course Sakurai proves he is indeed the man at giving these newcomers the ultimate playstyles. This is kind of like taking a step back into the video I made over a year ago on customizable fighters. This is as close as we're going to get to such in a Smash game. Any Mii you can choose from your console that you can decide how they play out sounds like a real winning formula to me. Seriously. We then get to see various updates on different games that Nintendo has had in the works, like Yoshi's Woolly World, which is screaming to me that it's Nintendo's alternative to LittleBuigPlanet. A Captain Toad platforming game was shown, as well as an amazing look at the Legend of Zelda title for the Wii U that looks to launch next year, as well as an update to the Hyrule Warriors. A new game titled Splatoon, which is like a creative game that has characters spray ink like paintball guns, look very interesting to me as well, and will also be a future title for the Wii U. So looks like big things are to come for that console for sure. And as we move on, there was one particular announcement that ended this presentation. That, of course, was a trailer that finally had the official unveiling of Palutena, who I even mentioned in my preview video last week that she was very likely to be one of the new characters shown at this event. She looks to be quite the powerful character, perhaps even a tad bit OP, but fun nonetheless. There is an elephant in the room regarding this whole thing, though. You see, all this did was confirm that leak from earlier this year to be true, and as such, I think Sakurai waited a tad too long to finally confirm her. He should have struck while that iron was hot in February with the first Nintendo Direct of the year when Little Mac was announced and confirmed Palutena instead. But he went on his business and ended up finally revealing her nearly half a year after a legitimate leak. And I love how one of her official screenshots is face-to-face with Mario as an homage to it on the official website. So that in the end, by the time we got this trailer, my reaction was more like, oh, well, we finally got her, rather than, oh my gosh, she's in the freaking game. Which was a bit of an issue in building up overall excitement for everything I had just seen. Petty, sure, but still a relevant point nonetheless. He should have revealed somebody nobody's seen coming, or at least a character who didn't have their screenshots leaked from the 3DS months ago. But I digress. Later on, as Nintendo continued streaming their live Treehouse feed throughout the course of the day, Mr. Miyamoto got some time to present a few quick betas. One thing he played very briefly was the very new Star Fox game that's set to be released next year, and the other two are basically games that look to capitalize on the use of the Wii U's gamepad. One of which was Project Giant Robot, which is basically Rock'em Sock'em robots for the Wii U, as you grapple and punch out other giant robots as a giant robot yourself, and you rummage through a city. I also think robot appearances in that game are entirely customizable too, which is pretty cool. The other game he showed was referred to as Project Guard, and it looks to be a tower defense game that utilizes the gamepad as a way to keep track of multiple security cameras as you defend yourself against enemy bots. Despite both games being very early on in their development cycle, both look a ton of fun to play and intrigue me greatly on the potential use of the Wii U's gamepad in future titles. We also got a first-hand look at how the Nintendo Amiibo, the former NFP, would work in the realm of Smash Bros., and it basically keeps track of all of your character stats, given that you have an Amiibo figure for them, and plenty have apparently been manufactured, much to my surprise. These Amiibos are also being worked on to be integrated into Mario Kart 8, Mario Party 10, Captain Toad, and Yoshi's Woolly World. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, on the Smash front. Basically, right after the Super Smash Bros. Invitational had went off the air, we were treated to the announcement that Sakurai would be involved in this sort of, I guess you could call it a roundtable of sorts, discussing Super Smash Bros. Immediately as the tournament was finished. That probably ended about an hour and a half ago. And the big news that came out of that was the reveal of Pac-Man on the Super Smash Bros. Roster. Now, initially hearing this, and since they only did it through a live blog and live tweeting, which means you refresh the page or you follow your Twitter news feed until the whole thing is over. There was no video, there was no nothing. We just heard it through this live blogging, these posts and tweets that kept getting posted. So with how antsy and giddy they were about talking about it, there was no actual pictures. They were just saying, oh, stay tuned, Pac-Man this, Pac-Man that. And I honestly thought I was being trolled. I did. I honestly thought that I was being trolled, and that's just how it was going to be. And that we were being kidded around and stuff. Then about an hour after that, maybe 40 minutes, we had this official trailer released to us called Red, Blue, Yellow. And when you click on it, you get to see that it highlights Mario, Mega Man, and Sonic at their best, and then all of a sudden it cuts away to yellow, and you go forward a bit and you see that it's the shape of the traditional arcade Pac-Man. And then it transitions into Pac-Man's model from Pac-Man World, and he has plenty of different moves. He throws fruit. He can transition into the original Pac-Man and chomp his way through you. He can unleash a bunch of other arcade hazards into the fray upon you. He has just this whole arsenal of different sort of kicks and punches. He plays out way more amazing than I could have ever thought that they'd give him. I mean, they really did a spectacular job on that moveset. Like, some of it I could have figured out, some of it not so much. His final smash is almost what we all predicted. He turns into giant 2D arcade traditional Pac-Man, and he chomps away everybody on screen. Whereas the traditional move of him turning into regular Pac-Man, he just kind of turns into the half or quarter eaten pie and eats his way forward. With this, he's a giant 2D yellow sprite that eats basically the entire screen. And yeah, I mean, you guys have no idea how much of a big situation this is for me to have, as me and Joseph Solano call them on Twitter, the Quartet of Legends. Just seeing like all these childhood icons, Pac-Man, Mario, Mega Man, and Sonic, all in the same game, really made my E3 for me once again. Super Smash Brothers pulls through, and this is what it's all about. Everybody, this is what it's all about. It's about moments like these, and if you had heard the dialogue that was being done before this. Now, I was working on this video all evening, getting the right script done, talking about all this, all that, all the other. I'm keeping myself composed right now, but that was all kind of done, scripted, everything, because that was all I thought they were going to show today was the stuff from the digital event and whatever got done on Treehouse. And I thought maybe they were going to show off something during the Invitational. They never did. They just had the straight-up tournament, and I thought that was it. And I was gladly mistaken, because just think about this, guys, just for 1 second. We have 3 third-party characters in Super Smash Brothers. That is historic in and of itself. We have 4 icons of gaming. Pac-Man was the first legend of gaming even before Mario, and he's starring alongside the 2 most famous platformers of all time in the legendary Mega Man. It is unbelievable. I guess we all knew Namco would be getting a character, but this is awesome, awesome stuff. Made my night. Hopefully, hearing me get all giddy or whatever is kind of entertaining or funny to you. But I'm keeping myself quite composed. But I'm very thrilled with how this E3 turned out. We got 3 newcomers last year, and I expected no less than 3 this year, and that's exactly what we got. So yeah, pretty stoked here, folks. You can probably tell I'm just kind of winging it and going on here. But I'm very, very excited. Go see the newest Super Smash Brothers trailer that features Pac-Man and the other quartet of legends, and I'm sure you'll get just as much of a big kick out of it as I did. Must-see stuff there, folks. As always, guys, it'd be greatly appreciated if you were to follow me on the Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams of the world. These social media outlets are always a great way of staying connected to me in between all of my YouTube activity. Also, always feel free to drop a comment on this video, drop a comment on my channel, and please add me on Skype. We can discuss everything you want, talk to me personally. The Skype and the Twitter, people. Plug them every week. You add me on Skype if you have it. Follow me on Twitter if you have it. If you tweet me or if you Skype me, I'm guaranteed to answer. It's personal, great, direct communication. I love talking with all of you. On that note, I'm a frequent co-host of the I Got Gameplay podcast for RetroUnlim.com. It airs live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you all there. And recently, those guys have been they've been going live every night of E3. They went live last night at 8 p.m. They went live tonight, I believe, at 8 p.m. as well. I was working on this all night, so I didn't quite get to join. And last night, the schedule just wasn't worth it. But I think I'll jump on it and join those guys tomorrow night for a little live gaming talk. They're going live every night for an hour, 8 till 9 p.m. every night of E3. So they'll be going live tomorrow night at 8 till 9, and then the night after 8 till 9 on Thursday night. Every night of E3 going live. I don't know if we're doing the live thing on Saturday. I have to talk to my the leader of IGG about that one. But do tune in. I think I may be there myself. So have a good one, folks. And I hope you enjoyed E3 as much as I did. Take care.